to friends. Welcome to the relationship series. Hopefully, you guys all had a happy Halloween last night. And now it's November 1st. And is everyone bracing a little bit for the holidays? Thanksgiving is coming up, then Christmas. Like the hustle and bustle, I feel like officially starts today out in the world. Yeah.
Yep.
And it really had Kari and I thinking about that and how that is in service of our relationships or isn't. And so this is such a beautiful time, I think, to take a step back and really commit to yourself to paying attention to how things feel, how you're responding, and where that's coming from, as all of the holiday craziness is about to
Yeah.
on us.
Roll forth.
Yes.
Roll forth. Yeah. So this comes down to, well, boundaries is a part of this discussion. And it's also an awareness of who you are in a relationship and how are you showing up and what do you want? What do you want out of this? So those are that's very nebulous. But when we look at like all of the things that we're involved in over the holidays, from gift giving to and from and gift exchanges that we're involved in, especially with the economy being a little bit hard on people this year, like I would start to look at each of the things that you feel like you're involved in very carefully, and maybe with a brand new fresh perspective of, with the awareness of, is this something that I want, or am I doing this out of obligation? Is this something I want to participate in because I genuinely love doing this and it adds to my holiday joy? Or am I doing this because I've always done it and I don't know how to get myself out of it? So having that as an awareness first, like just as you start to think about like, okay, I got to do Christmas cards and gift exchanges, and what am I doing for my kids? What parties am I going to? What am I hosting? Because I've always hosted it in the past. Like really looking at, okay, you don't have to do everything you've always done. So this is your permission to look at those things with a new perspective of if you want to do it and it brings you joy, or do you not really want to do it? I don't know. What does that bring up for you?
So many things. So many things. I think anytime we start anything, especially around the holidays, because I feel like the holidays really are supposed to be about connection, about gathering together, being together, and strengthening the bond that we have with the people that we care about the most. Right?
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be. But it gets so muffled with all of the stuff and all of the obligation. So I think as you are presented with opportunities throughout the holiday season, honor where they started from. They probably did start from a really great place and it's shifted into something else. We're constantly evolving into these new versions of ourselves, as are the people around us. So I think it's important to honor that and expect things to change, both for you and for other people in your life. And at the end of the day, if the goal is connection, really look at what it is you've done in the past or what is you're wanting to do right now and ask yourself that question. Is this adding to or taking away from my connection? Why or why not? And I think sometimes, especially around gifts, right? Depending on what your love language is, gifts can feel really great or they can feel really icky, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if it's feeling really icky for you, but you know that this other person's love language is gift giving, is that strengthening your connection, or is it breaking it down a little bit? And how can you do things a little bit differently so that it feels good for both of you?
Yeah. And I love that because that made me think, so say somebody isn't into gifts, they know someone is, how could you turn that around so that it felt better to you? Maybe the gift could be some sort of service or time, something that felt really meaningful rather than just picking up a candle, adding some fuzzy socks and handing it over. or the gift card that we all like, we buy like 6 gift cards and we all pass them around and
Mhm.
stuff like that. What could feel more meaningful in that exchange? So I think that's a really good way to look at it. And I think of like my kids doing exchanges with each other. And last year, one of the kids, a couple, said, "Hey, we're not going to do it this year." And I think that there could be a little bit of like angst around that, of like, but it came from a very genuine place of, and I don't think anybody felt bad. It was like, okay, I can see how where you guys are coming from. Okay, cool. We'll just do it amongst these kids, and that makes sense. So I think we also can project onto other people things that they're never going to think. And we come up with these stories of how we
Mhm.
want to extricate ourselves from something, whether it's an event, a gift, uh, tradition. Um, and we think that people are going to think all kinds of things, but that's not our place to worry about what they're going to think. It's our place to be really genuine and come from what feels really good to me this year is actually, and I'm in the phase of where my kids are older. So now rather than going to all of the like traditional things that when we had young kids and we were part of the other big family, now we're evolving and stepping back and saying, okay, and this happens with like my, both of our sets of my dad's dead, but on both sides of our family, kind of saying, hey, this is how we want to do Thanksgiving now, is like this, and you are welcome, and you're welcome to come join, but it looks different than how it looked for the first 20 years of our marriage when we came to your house. And do you know what I'm saying? So there's this
100%.
evolution. And so letting go of, like, there's just an evolution, and that's okay. And it's not our job to make other people feel okay about that, as long as we're doing it with kindness and love and authenticity as things change for each of us individually and our families and things like that.
And I'm so glad you brought this up. No joke, this is the third time I've had almost this exact conversation today. Okay, coincidence? I don't think so. But I think relationships should always be in service of both people loving themselves and honoring themselves. And I think, especially when it comes down to the holidays and tradition, if it doesn't feel like it's in service of you anymore and you need to separate from that, like honor that. I think how you communicate that is really going to determine how it serves the relationship or doesn't. But it isn't your responsibility for how they receive it. They may receive it as rejection. There's as long
Mhm.
as you know that you are honoring yourself and communicating those new boundaries in a healthy way and in respect of yourself and the relationship, then they have to be allowed to process that however they need to and trust that that's what's supposed to happen. And at the end of the day, so long as you're honoring yourself, then those relationships that are meant to be in your life are going to honor that as well.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. So for you guys, we're curious what what things come up as feeling stressful about the holidays, and how can we help turn them around so that it is in service of you, so that you are involved in the things that really bring you joy over the holidays and not extra stress, or the feelings of resentment that I have to be a part of this because I always was, or I have to host this thing because everybody's expecting that I do a breakfast or a whatever thing. That you really can do it from a place of choosing into those things that you love to do, and not doing them out of a space of obligation. And I know we've all done those things, but I think we've all done those things from a place of not knowing better or not knowing how to do it. And one, we don't know how to get ourselves out of those things. And then two, we worry about how everybody else is going to feel about it.
Mhm.
And again, like, we don't have to figure that part out. They feel how they feel about it. And so say I decide not to do a thing, somebody else is welcome to. You're
Mhm.
welcome to do that. Um, on the positive, our family, my husband's family has a tradition of pie night, which is the
Mhm.
night before Thanksgiving. And I love it. And it's been one of our favorite things. And I adopted it. We moved away from family. And in living away, it was a time where we could invite friends over, people who didn't have anywhere to go. It was very casual. It was very fun. And I loved doing it. Now it has evolved. So when we moved back, my mother-in-law did it, and it was at her house, and we did it her way, which was also fun. And then I was like, I kind of want to do that. And if we're doing Thanksgiving with your family, invite my family to pie night so we still get that interaction, whatever. But I think that's one where like it is work. Like it's a lot of effort to put together and get ready for it and everything. But I love it. And I will be okay someday if my kids all have other places to go and there's no one to do it for. And then I'll just quietly sit at home on the couch and that will be okay. And we have ourselves kind of prepared for that because we've watched parents be very upset when their kids don't come back. Like when their
Mhm.
kids are doing stuff with their families. But it's just an evolution. And we've been
Yeah.
like, it's fine. As soon as our kids aren't coming and they're doing stuff with their other families, cool. That's the year we go on a cruise. Or we'll go to Hawaii and we'll be totally okay with that. And nobody has to feel bad that us two are on our own. It's okay. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and how can you shift it from a feeling of rejection to a feeling of opportunity? At
yeah,
the end of the day, every rejection is really an opportunity for something different.
yeah,
And how you which lens you see that through determines how it affects your relationship or how it doesn't. But yeah, I think I love this whole conversation. And more than anything, I just want to encourage everyone to listen to your body because your body knows. Like,
hmm,
if you literally start writing down a checklist of all the things you feel like you have to do for the next given
yeah,
holiday, pay attention to how your body responds. Do you constrict? Do you hold your breath? Like, really pay attention. I know that if you've been to literally any meditation class at the collective, you have been coached on this. And if you haven't, come check it out so you can learn how to listen to your body. But then as you notice those constrictions, really do some self-inquiry around that and see how it feels by entertaining how you can do it differently. You know, can I host pie night? Can I still host the Christmas party, but can I ask other people to help? You know,
mhm,
what feels good, or do I just need to let it go completely? Go through all of the questions, all the different ways that it could look, and listen to your body and honor that. Your body knows.
yeah, yep,
It knows.
absolutely. Like that's 100%. But in addition to that, you have to be creating the environment so that you are tuned in and that you can hear what your body is telling you. So that taking that time so that you're creating a practice in your day and like Roxy said, the classes where you have the opportunity to a dedicated hour time space to do that kind of thing makes it begin to be easier and easier to connect with what your body is telling you, what your higher self is telling you that you need, because it will not lead you astray and you will feel a regret the minute you go against what your higher self, your body, your mind is trying to tell you. Now, you
Mhm.
can still change course, right? It's not set in stone. You can change course, you can change your mind. And if you need words, message us. I love. Like, give me a scenario and I will help you figure out how to say that to another person. I had a message today and she was like, "You're such a good, like, you can take what I'm saying and turn it into how to say it to someone else, whatever." And I was like, I love being able to do that
Yeah.
and help bridge that. So if you got them, send them my way. Love to hear what you're struggling with, and send Roxy or I a message if you feel like you have a particular relationship that you are a little nervous about going into the holiday season. If there is something that now with some new awareness, you're feeling some trepidation and unease, like, I don't know how to manage this going forward and it really feels like I want to do it differently than I have before, reach out to one of us and we would love to help you through that figure that out. And what I know as a coach is that you have the answers. Sometimes you just need someone to show you and ask you the right questions to pull the answer out of you. And when you are the one who comes up with the answer, then it's like, this feels authentic to how I'm going to handle this. But sometimes you just need some facilitation to get to the answer. So, yep. You guys can find us in the collective group. You can find us on Instagram. Some of you may be watching this on YouTube. Leave us comments. We would love to hear how you're doing and how we can help you. And if you haven't already, plug into the group on Facebook or our business page where you can get updates about classes. And our website has classes and how you can join us and bring more of this into your life. So that's mymindbodycollective.com. So,
yes, we hope to see all of you there.
Okay, thanks for joining us, you guys. See ya.